I could be brown, I could be blue, I could be violet sky, I could be hurtful, I could be purple, I could be anything you like. I could be brown, I could be blue, I could be violet sky, I could be hurtful, I could be purple, I could be anything you like. I could be brown, I could be blue, I could be violet sky, I could be hurtful, I could be purple, I could be anything you like. I could be brown, I could be blue, I could be violet sky, I could be hurtful, I could be purple, I could be anything you like. I could be brown, I could be blue, I could be violet sky, I could be hurtful, I could be purple, I could be anything you like. I could be brown, I could be blue, I could be violet sky, I could be hurtful, I could be purple, I could be anything you like.
You're watching Poindexter Lounge. You already know. You're watching Poindexter Lounge for the unity.
Why don't you set aside an hour or two? We'll have a few drinks and a cup of coffee. I don't drink.
Hi, you're watching Poindexter Lounge. I'm choking on chicken.
Hey, you're watching Poindexter. That's great. I don't.
You are watching Poindexter Lounge.
That's great. I don't.
You are watching Poindexter. Thanks for the lights, Jay. Churros and Call of Duty. I smell like onions and you're watching Poindexter.
That's great. I don't.
And now I'll make the point better. This joint's clever. In the lounge with Poindexter. So Poindexter Lounge, you know that we can get it in. And now I'm headed up like I'm Led Zeppelin.
Hi, you're watching Poindexter Lounge. Do you like nerd stuff? Yeah? Then you'll love this. You never know what might happen or who might show up at the lounge.
I just want to thank you for being here and being my friend. It's always good to have someone you could count on. And I'm glad you're that for me.
That's great. I don't.
Ladies and gentlemen, can I please have your attention? I've just been handed an urgent and horrifying news story. And I need all of you to stop what you're doing and listen. Cannonball!
Give me a bottle of anything and a glazed donut. To go.
What's up, nerd family? Welcome once again to the Poindexter Lounge. My name is Enosh, and it's great to have you guys with me in the lounge, the mobile lounge, once again, as we are on the drive home. That's right, the drive home. It's the show where we like to come together, talk about the things that we love. And so if you love things like TV shows, movies, games, sci-fi, fantasy, comic books, superheroes, toys, and so much more, then guess what? You found the right place, and we are definitely in the right place today, as we are talking about some nerd stuff. And we're so glad to have you. We're so glad to have you. So sit back, relax, and we're just going to chill for the next hour or so and talk about some of this cool stuff, all right? I hope you're all doing well. I'm doing well. I've had a really good day today. I've had a really good week. I've had a really good couple of weeks. I've had a really good month. And I'm excited. I'm excited about what the future holds and where I'm going and what I'm doing and who I'm with. And speaking of who I'm with, this young lady right there, what's going on, Shayna? Shayna is watching, and I see some other people watching, and I got to be a little careful here. I tell you all, like, I don't, I pay attention to what I'm doing, where I'm going, what I'm doing, so you never have to worry about that. I always make sure that there's plenty of road, and I'm not looking, here, like, my phone is literally on my dashboard, so I'm literally right here with you guys. Just wanted to point that out. Maybe, man, if you can message me, message me on social media. I'll see if I can get you a link. It's kind of hard, but we'll see what we can do. Okay? Yay! It's starting. Yes, we're starting up. We did. Yes, I was running late because when I do this show, I'm coming directly out of work, and so I have a call run a little bit long, and so a little bit late. But yes. Nope, you did not miss this one. What's up, Ghostly Visitor? Good to see you here. Who else is here? Anchorman is here. That's great. Jeremy's, that's great. I don't, never fails. Crack me up. I know, right? Good times, right? Good memories. Yes, David Lee Roth, baby. Bowsy, bowsy, bop, city bop. Shamala, bibala, boobala, boobala, gibala, boobala, boobala, bop. I ain't got nobody. Nobody cares for me. Nobody. Well, except for Richard Gilbert. What's up for Richard Gilbert? And the CJH Entertainment. CJH Entertainment. CJH Entertainment. Want some sweet CJH Entertainment? Come and take some time and watch Poindexter Lounge, 'cause I ain't so bad. Oh, man. What's up, Derpy Entertainment? Good to see you as well. RJ is here. RJ, if you want a link, let me know. David Lee Roth always makes me want to jump. Heck yeah. Jump. Might as well jump. Jump. What's going on, Triton? Good to see you. What's not true? What's not true? Did I say something that wasn't true? I don't know. Well, Simon Section says, I'm more of a pound cake man myself. I get the reference. I understand it. I respect it. Because when it comes to David Lee Roth and, Sammy Hagar, two different bands, right? I mean, when you're talking about Van Halen, two different bands, two completely different bands. And I think that each one is special in their own right. I mean, David Lee Roth, Van Halen, a lot of hardcore, just rock and roll, man, just, running out on stage, giving it your all, going crazy, just all over the place, especially if you listen to a lot of Van Halen's, like, early stuff, the recordings and stuff of it. I mean, they played everything really, really fast. I mean, it's amazing. Like, I used to, but I remember when I was younger, how I used to be really down on myself sometimes that, like, the band that I was in sometimes would speed stuff up, and when, like, we'd have these talks, like, I gotta stay in time and blah, blah, blah. Nowadays, everybody just uses click tracks, right, to keep them all in time. But it's really funny because then we'd listen to, like, old Van Halen recordings, and we'd just be like, holy crap, man, like, live, they were just speed demons, right? I mean, just going super fast. But two totally different bands. You got David Lee Roth, consummate showman, and that's not to say that Sammy Hagar isn't. It's just that David was, man, for the time and the era and the band and everything was kicking. He was perfect for that. Then you got Sammy Hagar, who came in, and Sammy, he's just a different guy. Voice-wise, Sammy's got a better voice, technically. But David knew what he was doing with what he had, right? So he wasn't really trying to be anything other than what he actually was. And so when he would go down to that low register, I loved that, man. But Sammy, again, I love Sammy as well. I love Sammy's voice, but it's a different band. That band sounded much more polished. It was much more produced. A lot more keyboards, which is fine. But you still had Eddie's playing, and so it's two great bands, just different. Same band name, just different bands. So, go did you? Okay, give me a second here, and I'll try to send you something here. You were singing about you're singing about not having anyone. That's not true. That is not true, because I have Sheena. I'll tell you what. I can't wait to get home right now to see her. I'm just thinking about when I pull up, she runs out, and when I see her beautiful face. I'm sorry, I'm kind of drifting along here, just thinking about Shayna. David Lee Roth era Van Halen remains the best, as much as I respect Sammy. Yeah, that's the same thing for me. Like I love them both. I respect Sammy. I never take away from Sammy. But yeah, I love David Lee Roth, man. I love that band. hyped for Beetlejuice 2. We're going to talk about Beetlejuice 2. We got a couple pictures. Oh yeah, we did that show yesterday, CJH. We did that show yesterday. This is what I say to people turning on George Lucas. Are you gonna cry? Oh, you gonna cry with your little Captain Kangaroo haircut? Oh, you gonna cry? South Park reference. I don't care. I don't care. George Lucas can say whatever he wants to. He's George freaking Lucas. But here's the thing. All the people that are griping and complaining about George Lucas today are the people who were before were going, oh, he's the creator. He makes no wrongs. He does nothing wrong. Disney should have listened to him. Disney should have done exactly what he said. Do you think that maybe he had a little seller's remorse? He sold his baby. And again, I would like to reiterate. He didn't just sell Star Wars. He sold all of Lucasfilm. So he sold his complete and utter family. He didn't just sell the baby. He sold the family. Kind of like somebody else I know. Anyways, he sold it all off, man. Didn't care about it. I mean, I'm not saying he didn't care about it, but after he got rid of it, he obviously had some remorse. And he said some things about Disney. But isn't it interesting, like, people say things, and sometimes people say things that they didn't mean as harsh as it maybe came out, you know. Obviously, he doesn't have a problem with Disney now, or at least the regime and what they were talking about at the time. So people can hate on him all they want. All it shows is those people's hearts. It just shows those people's intentions, right? And it is what it is. What's up, Laser Luke? One of my favorites. No, I have not. I have not seen X-Men 97 yet. Continuing my long-standing streak of having not watched the original animated series and now having not watched yet X-Men 97. I plan on getting around to it. I actually found a video. I'm going to try to get around to it. It's not a priority, to be honest with you, because I didn't watch the cartoon growing up. I didn't watch the 90s cartoon. So it wasn't that I hated it. Every once in a while I'd watch it, but I wasn't an X-Men fan, right? So you're talking a time period when the Death of Superman was coming out. Like, I was really getting into Superman comics at the time. I did read some Wolverine and X-Men because my friend Rusty, he collected that, and I collected Superman, and so we'd both go on Wednesdays and get our books, and then we'd switch, and that was fine. But I was not a real big X-Men guy, so growing up. Now look, once I got older, I started appreciating Marvel and other things more, you know. But DC was always my love, obviously, right? And so, like, I just wasn't into it. I'm not hating on it. I got no opinion about it because, I mean, actually, there's a really cool episode where Nightcrawler talks to Wolverine about God, and they talk about faith and stuff. And I always thought that was pretty cool because, like, it's kind of cool to see it go there. Especially in a kid's cartoon, man. It's like the cartoon actually dealt with some pretty serious issues, and so I thought that was cool. But yeah, I'll get around to it. You know, obviously everybody's seems to have some controversy about it, but whatever. What's up, Draga? Good to see you. Okay, Dreamer, back to the nerd stuff, right? Yeah, I know I gotta stop daydreaming about you now. Okay. What's up, Cherie? Oh yeah, I bet Doomcock is really ticked off about that. Okay, so this is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna play a little video so that I can go and send out a couple links. How's that sound? Because got a couple people that want to come on, and that's fine. So, but I need to be able to go and send them a link. So, let's see, what should I play? I need to play something that's a little longer. Oh, I know what I'll play. We haven't played one of these in a long time, so this is a good time for this. So everybody just sit, chill, just relax. Don't worry, we're coming right back. All right. Put my banner on here. See, I didn't put any of this stuff on here, right? Now you got the ticker. And if I can find the video. Oh, did I delete that video? Oh, dang it. You know what? No, here it is. Here. Okay, here they are. Cool. I will be right back.
Let's go take a tour of the aisle, shall we? They got loud baloney, dog eggs, and a jar of celery farts, bicycle meat, swamp butter, and a hummingbird that's bigger than you, chocolate photographs, reverse watermelon, roast beef that zaps you when you touch it, secret peanuts, divorce carrots, then the stuff inside of balloons.
There we go. Here's the rest of that, by the way.
The stuff inside a balloon.
All right. That being said, hey, Bradley's here.
Hold up. What's up, Bradley?
Hey, what's up, man?
Not much, man. Hey, you know what? I'm gonna try something while you're here because for some reason, my sound did not go through my car. But I have a set of headphones here, and I want to see if you can still hear me if I put these headphones in and start these up. Let's see. Do. Let's connect.
I cannot hear you. I think the audio just completely cut out.
No way. I will give you all my...
No, I can hear you. No.
All right, that didn't work.
Yeah, I don't think StreamYard is like Bluetooth friendly because I've tried to use my Bluetooth headphones with it and it does not work.
So, but guess what? Here's a cool thing. Here's a rest area right here. So I'm gonna get this thing, I'm gonna get this freaking thing to work one way or another. And in the meantime, I'm gonna bring in some other people. Here is RJ and Film Goblin. What's up, guys?
Hello. What's going on? You know.
Hey, y'all just stay put. You guys can talk about whatever you want to talk about. I will be right back. I'm gonna park real quick, shut the car off, turn it back on so my Bluetooth kicks in so I can hear you guys, because right now I couldn't even hear you if I tried. So, welcome to the show. I turn it over to you. Bye.
So how about them Jets, guys?
Jets.
How about them Jets?
Benny and the Jets.
How's everyone doing today?
I'm okay. Tired, but
yeah, same. I went to bed at like 6 a.m. and woke up at 12, so I have not had a well-rested evening.
Ooh, fun.
Yeah, it was not fun. But I was trying to stay awake until the Alien trailer dropped because I was staying up late anyway. So I was like, screw it. I'll just wait for it. And it didn't happen.
Yeah, no, I get you. No, I've not seen. I'm going to watch X-Men 97 later tonight. I haven't watched the original X-Men cartoon in a long time. So hopefully the show does a decent job of catching you up a little bit or reminding you of stuff. It's been forever.
I'll be honest, I have never seen one episode of 97.
I mean, it's good. It's good from what I remember. So
I love the theme song, though. Good Enosh fixing it? I don't think you can hear us yet.
he's entered the Phantom Zone. He's entered the Phantom Zone. Oh man, but yeah. Yeah, today was a busy day. A lot of stuff happened today.
Yeah, there's a lot of news today. I'm guessing we'll have some more news this week with the Beetlejuice trailer and some other things.
Yeah,
House of the
Beetlejuice
Dragon tomorrow.
It works. I can hear you.
Yay!
There we go.
Yeah, so much better. Okay. How's your Wednesday?
Pretty good. Just just relaxing, just taking things easy. Yeah, it's been a busy day. A lot of stuff's been a lot of trailers came out today.
Yep, that's for sure. That's for sure.
Then we got
Anybody
the
else?
Beetlejuice trailer tomorrow.
So the trailer's coming out tomorrow for Beetlejuice, huh?
Yeah, that's apparently
You've said his name twice. Don't say it a third time.
Well, we could say his name a third time and just send him on over to Tiffany's house because that's I think it's hilarious that they're finally doing Beetlejuice 2 after all this time because she wanted that forever. Now screw her because you know what? we're all gonna enjoy it without her. So there you go. Anyways, let's see. So these photos came out today for Beetlejuice. Let me pull them up here. I got this. These right here. What do you guys think?
Looks good.
It looks good. I thought the Entertainment Weekly article was more interesting because they kind of dived a little more into things. So they talked about how a death in the family is what's going to bring the characters back together and what's going to kind of bring Beetlejuice back into the fold. And they also mentioned something interesting. The goal of this movie is to use no computer-generated effects, no CGI.
Yeah.
They talked about how this movie, they want to use all practical effects. They mentioned that there's going to be stop-motion animation, just like the classic film.
That'd be great.
So they're going back to stop-motion animation for some stuff.
You guys think well, the character that's dead is definitely not Jeffrey Combs. I don't think anyone's going to be sad about that character dying. Granted with his history, but I don't know. Could be interesting.
Look, I'll be honest with you. I didn't see the original Beetlejuice until, maybe 2015, 16, maybe. I don't know. I just never got around to it. It was just one of those movies I never got around to, and so I liked it. I was kind of surprised when it was done because it's a good film. It's a fun movie, but hearing it hyped up my entire life like I have, I thought it was okay. But it does have it's got a nostalgia to it, the time frame that it came out, and I really like the idea. Look, the more that we can get away from just doing everything half-assed and CGIing everything, I will be so happy. Because I'm sick of seeing fake backgrounds. I'm sick of seeing people driving cars when it's obvious that you couldn't even put a rig on a freaking car and just film people. You know what I mean? I don't understand where it's we're cutting every corner now to just CGI everything. Well, then what's the freaking point? I'm so tired of that. Film something on location, for God's sakes, directors, studios.
So basically, what you're saying is that you're sick of the volume?
I am sick of the volume is probably the best thing out of that's come because at least it a lot of times, I should say, it looks better than just traditional CGI because traditional CGI has just gotten so crazy out of touch that it's we don't care about physics anymore. We don't care about realism anymore. We just care that it looks like a cartoon or a video game, and as long as it looks like that, we don't care. So just put some live-action people in video games, because video games look like real live-action nowadays to people. So it just doesn't freaking matter. We'll just blur all the lines, No, man. Not for me, bro. The volume is fine. The volume I've seen has been fine. There's been a few times, though, I'll be honest with you, that I have had an issue with the volume, because the volume has looked fake. And it's when you're looking at it and going, all that is a freaking screen.
Well, I think it's interesting, too, that Disney kind of came back with Star Wars with this new technology that they created. And every studio and every film that I've seen utilize it, other than Disney, has utilized it 10 times better than they have. The Batman looks better. There's tons of movies that have used volume that look better than what they've utilized
I
it
think
with.
the
So
worst
if you have the right
example.
team.
Yeah, I think the worst example of volume usage, sadly, was in the Marvel stuff with Thor: Love and Thunder and Ant-Man 3. Because there's some moments in that where you can, like, the backgrounds do not look good in those movies whatsoever. And I don't understand because it looks worse than traditional green screen.
Right.
Yeah,
That's
it does.
You know what I've said so many times in this last couple of years? I could make a more believable scene sometimes using the green screen function in iMovie than some of the crap that I have seen on the big screen. There's no excuse for that. Like, you can tell when they've just phoned it in, or like there's just no quality control. You know, and Shana brings up a good point here too, that it's become quite a crutch. You know, it's like they don't even, she says they don't even try or think about how to do it with practical effects, you know, or makeup or whatever. It's just easier and cheaper. So it's like, yeah, we'll just CGI it. We'll just do it in post. You know, I made the joke because this summer I'm going to be in a production, a Star Trek production. Okay, and I've been asked if I would shave my beard. And it's taken me a long time to shave this beard. And it has to do with the character that they want me to play. And given the character that they want me to play, it's the kind of thing that you'd probably shave your beard for. But I was joking with Shana, and I said, you know, Shana, we should just leave my beard in, and then like all throughout the production, I could just like make reference to the fact that like they're gonna CGI out my beard later. You know, but that's where we've gotten to. You know, that's where we're at. So I don't know, but this looks good. I think this looks good. I mean, he looks great still as Beetlejuice.
Oh yeah, he looks like I haven't missed a step. Yeah, he looks like he just walked right out the first movie.
Oh, but you know, where are all the people right big and that's not my Beetlejuice. He's too old to be Beetlejuice. I don't want some 70-year-old Beetlejuice running around. All the stuff that we heard about the Batman. 70-year-old Batman running around. But I don't know. I mean, I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to seeing what it is, especially when everybody involved always said that they wouldn't do it unless there were you know, specific things that were met. You know, so.
Yeah, I mean, they've been trying to make this for years, and I think it was always just about, you know, finding the right story. They've talked about they didn't want to make this unless they believed like they had like a really good script, they had a really good story idea. So I think it's going to be a good one. I think it's going to be.
Do you remember that for like a decade there was a Beetlejuice 2 that was, I mean, it had a title. It was called Beetlejuice Goes Hawaiian.
Yes, yeah. They've been trying to make this for like a long time, and it's been stuck in development hell. And then they finally was like, okay, let's actually make it.
Yep.
So hopefully it's worth the wait.
I hope so. You know, that's been the problem with some of these movies. We talked about, you know, RJ, you and I, and Austin, you know, and Bradley back in the day. You know, I mean, like I would love to say you, Film Goblin, but I don't know if that you've been on the show when we've had that discussion. But you know, we've talked about in the past how like movies that do these sequels, you know, 30 years later, you know, it's hit or miss sometimes. You know, it's like.
Oh, by the way, I was watching your video yesterday. I wanted to correct you about Allison Mack from Smallville. She's currently not in prison anymore. I think she was released back in 2021. Doesn't mean she's going to come back for Smallville.
Wait, hold on. She was released in 2021?
Yeah, back in 2021 or 2022, she was released from prison.
When did she go to jail, though? Because that just happened.
Back in 2018.
Dang, it's been that long, huh? Jeez.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know though. I don't see. I think that would be the hard. Thank you for bringing that up. Yeah, because I wasn't sure if she was still in jail or not. But I think that may be a hard sell. Like unless she goes on like even a voice. I don't know, man. Like to try to bring her back for an animated series. You know, I
No, yeah,
know that
she's not
I
really.
know that
I guess. Sorry,
I
what was it?
was just gonna say I know that Michael Rosenbaum said like everybody, right? But I wonder if he means everybody because I've watched, the his podcast and stuff, and they've been pretty straightforward about the Allison Mack stuff. You know that they love her and stuff, but obviously, she really screwed up and burned a lot of bridges with people trying to get people involved in it and stuff. And I don't know. For me, I think that would be a hard sell. Trying to force bringing somebody back like that really you don't need their voice. Like you don't
But
need to see their face.
here's the thing. Like, if they make a sequel to the series, we already know that Tom Wellings Clark loses his powers, as shown in that Crisis event that was released a few years back. So
Yeah.
there's like really no point, if you know what I mean.
Well, you see that's the thing though, right? Because that was Crisis on Infinite Earths, so they can always retro that stuff, man, and they will. They'll retro. I mean, look at all the stuff that appeared in that show, anyways. That's already not considered canon. It's just stuff that we saw.
Yeah, you can kind of just do your own thing with it at this point. You can change things up.
I don't think anybody's holding anybody's feet to the fire on what happened in the Arrowverse. You know what I mean? I get what you're. I definitely get what you're saying, man. I definitely appreciate what you're saying. I don't think that in the bigger scheme of things, like that would keep people from moving forward with their own stories. And maybe we never even get to that point of seeing like when Clark gave up his powers. But it's just one of those things that we just kind of know is out there and happens.
The thing is, what I'm interested in is that Mark Guggenheim said he wanted to do a Brandon Routh Superman series. I'm actually more interested in that.
Yeah, but did you see the counter to that was that somebody ran with that when they weren't supposed to, because he did another interview right after that and cleared all that up and said, look, we haven't had any talks since back when we did the thing. Brandon and I just mentioned it to each other how we thought it would be cool. And he said, but there's nothing in place. We have not had any talks. We have not discussed it. It's not going forward. It's not anything that we're pitching or anything like that. It was just an idea that they had back when the show was.
Obviously it's not going to happen because...
Yeah, I was disappointed with that too, because I'd love to see that.
No, I mean, it's obvious that's not going to happen right now because James Gunn and his DCU, they don't want to have any multiple versions of the same characters going on.
Right.
So
right.
That's why they're ending Superman and Lois after season 4.
Yep. So, So, man, when it comes to Beetlejuice, I just hope it's good.
Yeah. I'm in the same boat.
Can't really hope for much more than that. Just hoping that it's good. At least it's not this.
Yeah.
What is that?
Oh, so I also wanted to ask you about Rebel Moon.
That's Josh Gad eating some kind of DC treat in a McDonald's cup.
Dear God.
Thank you, AI. Thank you.
What the hell?
Somebody's got me coming through as a delay.
Well, I think you're echoing a bit, Enosh. I don't know if it's just you or me or I don't know. Is it just...
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I think it's echoing. Somebody's got me maybe turned up a little too loud. There you go. It's off now. Whatever did that. So okay. Cool.
Okay.
But yeah. I'm sorry. What was the next thing we were talking about?
Well, I wanted to ask you real quick about Rebel Moon. I know you said you didn't like it. Do you think it was a stupid idea for them to cut the movie down and not just release the director's cuts?
I wouldn't use that terminology. I wouldn't say stupid, because I think that's a little harsh for that. I mean, like, I don't get it with Rebel Moon, right? Because,
well, supposedly they're trying to recreate the Snyder Cut hype with it. And it's just, I don't think that was the smartest idea to do that.
didn't work whatsoever.
Yeah, no, that didn't do anything for me. Like that just told me like you made one movie and then you made another one. Like the Snyder Cut was something completely different. You know, even Batman v Superman, the theatrical that got put out was not because of Zack. That was not his vision. That was not his doing. That was just the studio screwing it up and cutting it down. So, like, I don't really, I guess, understand the point unless, because I did see his interview where Zack talked about how the R-rated version is going to have all the blood, the gore, the violence, and the nudity, like, that everybody would think or hope for. So I guess if you're going to do that and you're making a space thing that, like, kids could watch, make the PG-13 version.
But even then, like, I think my biggest issue with all of that, with the PG-13, is, like, even with that, you're on Netflix. Like,
right.
I'm sorry, kids are gonna watch your R-rated version anyway. The biggest movie on Netflix to this date is Extraction, an R-rated action movie. You know, like that for me, like that when he said that, I mean, it just didn't make any sense.
See,
like,
this is my theory. This is my theory as to what happened. I have no evidence for this. I'm just saying this is my theory. I think this is what happened. I think that Netflix was going to give Rebel Moon somewhat a big theatrical release. Not like in every theater, but it would be like a pretty substantial theatrical release. And then the strikes happened. And I think that just stopped those plans completely. Because they're like, well, we're not going to have the cast promote this. And we can't really... I think something happened to where they're like, we're not going to give this a theatrical release. Because there's no reason to make a PG-13 cut unless you're putting it in theaters. Like a PG-13 2-hour cut.
Yeah,
so
I
think that they changed their strategy for that. So
it's possible. I mean, with a movie that big, I'm surprised they didn't release it in theaters. I mean, for God's sake, Netflix releases smaller films in theaters. They released Spaceman in theaters, you know, which is recent, like a small budget Adam Sandler movie that just came out. So, like, I don't understand really the reasoning. I don't get it.
That's what I'm doing, guys. Like, if you knew that beforehand that they wanted to go in and make an R-rated movie, it's like, why are you trying to cut that short to a PG, water it down to a PG-13
Right.
for no
Don't
reason?
don't purposely make the same mistake, but on purpose that Warner Brothers did.
Right,
Trying to cut down Zack
exactly.
Snyder movies, like, and that's a great point because, like, too, like, you're watering down your own IP.
You're tainting it.
Yeah.
The
And I just don't.
bad from the start, like it did. Look at how little there is hype for the second one, and I mean, unless you're a Snyder fan, which I am, and a lot of other people that are Snyder fans, or that aren't Snyder fans, probably don't care and aren't going to see that director's cut because they just aren't interested. And they're kind of tired of the whole director's cut thing with Snyder.
Well, I think also too it just creates issues to where, and if you don't put your best foot forward with the version that you're releasing, and you're trying to make something into a big brand and make it into a big franchise for your platform, and your first entry into a universe is turning away people because they're not getting a complete story and they're getting an inferior movie, it kind of makes it hard to build that brand and build it in a positive way moving forward when you don't leave your best foot forward.
I know that Matt Jarbo said he has no interest to watch it, the PG-13 versions. He's going to wait till the R-rated comes out.
I mean, honestly, I wish I would have done the same because I feel like I didn't
Me
get
too.
a complete movie the first time.
It's just, I don't get why would Zach agree to this though. It makes it.
Well, according to Zach, it was his idea.
Perception even more. It's just like
Well,
the
no,
whole
no.
point.
It was Netflix's idea. It was Netflix's idea to do that. They wanted.
No, he said in the Joe Rogan interview that he's the one who created the idea of like, hey, we'll do two versions.
Right.
Yeah, that's what I don't get. It's like
we approached them with the R-rated version, and they said, "Hey, you can do this, but can you also do a PG-13 version that's down to 2 hours and PG-13 and blah blah blah. And he said, yeah, no problem, because he's playing, playing nice and blah blah blah. But that's at a point where, I'm sorry, I think it's like Snyder kind of needs to stand up for himself a bit, and kind of put his foot down, because, like, dude, I love Snyder and I want other people to love Snyder, but it's really hard when you keep having these really shitty first cuts, and then months later a cut comes out and all the Snyder fans have to try and convince everybody, no, see that cut because it's way, way, way better.
Exactly.
It becomes harder.
It does make it hard as a fan. It does make it hard
yeah.
as a fan because especially when you were looking forward to something and you're hyping it up and you're talking with other people about it, like we were, and then all of a sudden I watch it and it's like I sit down to watch it with Shayna and I'm super excited about it because this thing that I've been talking about for the last couple of years is finally coming out and it's finally realized, and it's like the rest of my year last year is just like a dud. It's like, I don't know, it was just weird. I kept waiting for it to get good. I kept waiting for it to hit and to resonate with me. And then when it was done, all I could do was turn to Shayna and go, well, there's an R-rated version that's coming out in a couple of months, and hopefully that's the more light on it.
And that's the frustrating part too. It's like you have to keep going, well, there's a better version out there. It's like, why can't I get the better version?
Quote unquote better.
Right.
Yeah, and especially for Zach and where he's at in his career too, I think it would be nice for him to actually have like some really good. I mean, hell, even look at Army of the Dead was pretty liked by critics. It was a first cut. It did great. Audiences like. So I really wish with this one, because he did talk about on Rogan how like it is his version, right? That first version he wrote is like super heavy metal and crazy and all this and. Like we talked about sex and all that. So, but I still wish, like, look, again, it's Netflix. If there's any place to do that type of thing, it's Netflix. They've already done that type
I
of
thought that
stuff.
was the whole point of why he went to Netflix, is so that he could get final cut say on his movies.
Exactly. So I wish he would have put his foot down and said, no, let's just do this, because at this point my career doesn't need another shitty review. I'm sorry.
Well, for me personally, like, this is just how I feel. This isn't a general statement. It's just how I feel. I feel like turning the cut gimmick into a gimmick for marketing purposes is just kind of like soulless to me, to be honest. Like, it doesn't feel genuine. It doesn't feel like it's, you're actually trying to make a good film the first time. You're just trying to market and appeal to two different types of people. But let's be honest, the main people who are actually watching this all the way through are the same people in both groups that you're trying to appeal.
Right. So they're just going to watch the movie twice.
Yep.
Or you risk turning people off.
Yep.
Exactly.
Because I think anybody who's a Zack Snyder fan, they're really going in thinking, man, I can't wait to see that R-rated movie.
Right.
Right. And then you got people who maybe check it out because they're like, oh, okay, this Rebel Moon thing, look, it's in the top 10. It's, it's trending. People are talking about it. Okay, I'm going to try it out. All right. It doesn't seem like it had all of it didn't have any of there was no stake. It was a lot of sizzle and a lot of talk about stuff, but I didn't feel like there was like a lot of meat there. Now, I say that, and again, I want to preference this because I have good friends. I like on the good side of the Snyder fandom, okay? Like good people that I like me and have rational brains. And like I remember I had one conversation with one of those people, and like I don't think that she understood that like I wasn't against the film. I'm not against Zach. Just because I saw some things that I didn't resonate with or I thought kind of looked strange, like that's just opinion. That's just being subjective and going, okay, look, I love all of Zach's movies, right? I haven't seen Sucker Punch and I haven't seen 300.
You haven't seen 300?
Nope, I've got it. I own it.
You don't say
In
what?
fact, I own 2 copies of 300.
Man.
And you got to see 300. That's just like a quintessential Zach movie.
It's one of his best. That's one of his best films. Yeah.
I know. And so, like, look, I get it. But the thing, what I'm saying is like those are his only 2 movies that I haven't seen. And I like Zach's movies. I love Zach's movies. I mean, Watchmen is as perfect a movie like you're gonna get. And Man of Steel for me is perfect. I love Man of Steel. So I don't have to just fall head over heels over everything just because of who made it.
Yeah.
And
I get
don't,
that.
and I think that's
It's
fair. I think that's fair.
And
I
I
get that.
Wait. This is a moment. This is a moment, okay? There's somebody backstage that I'm just going to say is it's shocking that they are here. It's very shocking because it means that they had to get out of bed. And I know that they have a hard time doing that, given their age, given their symptoms, given all that they've been through.
Oh, I know it is.
I know.
And we love him, but you can't have my Boba Fett.
No way. I will give you all my Star Wars guys if it is. Wait, except Boba Fett. No matter how sure I am, I never risk the Fett man.
There he is, making his appearance back, making his grand return to the lounge. The guy who held it down for me for like a few months with absolutely no direction, no communication, no nothing. I just basically, like at one point, this guy reached out to me and asked me if he could like just have my channel because I wasn't going to do anything with it.
Well,
Ladies and gentlemen, William. What's up, William?
I only asked that because at the time, I remember seeing it quoted, "I'm done." When I'm like, okay, well, we were, that sucked.
I know, man. I know. But you know what? No, it didn't suck. It didn't suck because, it led me to this moment. And I got to say that, truly, I think this will be the last time that I can really use this and say that it's only because of one person that I am where I am at today and that I am back and better and stronger because this person convinced me that I needed to really get back to doing what I was doing to begin with and to stop kind of whining and complaining. Basically just, it's tiff-tastic. So.
There you go.
It's tiff-tastic that I'm back.
Yeah. Well, like I said, now we can laugh at all this, but like I said, there was a time when I was like, whoa, what's going on, man?
I know, man. I know. Trust me. I was there, bro. I was there. Me, myself, and we were all there. But, we were hanging out with our good friend Misery because they love company.
I still need to go visit William in Vegas.
Yeah.
That's on my list. That's on my list of stuff to do in the next year.
Hey, Austin, I don't appreciate that profile pic. I think I should get some residuals for that profile pic, though, buddy. I think you take that down once I get cash, man.
Hey, man.
It's like, this looks like some weird CGI stuff where like Zack Snyder is next to two half faces.
Can I just say before this picture, I was an absolute bumbling mess talking to Zach.
Well,
well, can I just say this too? I met Zach first because I like was on it. Like he was passing by. I was like, "Hi, Zach. I'm Austin." Blah blah blah. Introduced him, and then I turned around and he takes off. And Bradley comes up to me. He goes, "You really didn't introduce me?"
No, like I was watching the cast on the red carpet for Avatar, and I turned back, and you're like, "Oh." And this dude said, "Oh, there's Zach."
You were paying attention to anything that had to do with Avatar instead of Zack Snyder? Well,
No,
Bradley,
because
it's been
Austin-
great knowing you.
No.
Oh wait, I wanted to say.
They come upstairs. Hold on. They come upstairs and show me the picture, and don't even let me know. I'm like, dude, you guys could have came and got me. I'm like, then I had to go run them down.
Well, you know what, Bradley? I got to say this. No, you know what? I got to take away points for you paying attention to anything that has to do with Avatar because that's just an unpardonable sin. But the fact that you met Zack Snyder and you did not make William aware that Zack Snyder was down there and ready and willing, that gets you back.
Well, no,
I got them in. I got them in.
I do not. I have no interest in The Last Airbender. DL, don't take that as me liking it. I don't like it.
Oh yeah, me neither.
But no,
it's like I know it's better than the M. Night Shyamalan movie, but it's just like I know it's not going to be as good as the animated series. So it's just like I'm really not that motivated to watch it really, because it's just the
No, but I was
same, but
watching
just
them
not
and
as
just
good.
I was just watching them, and Austin disappeared in a blink of an eye, and he was like, Zack Snyder, and disappeared. And I was like, what the hell? Like, you just left without me? The
I
hell,
mean, at
man?
the end of the day, I got to talk to Zach like 5 times, so I was the lucky one.
Yeah, we got to talk to him a lot.
I mean, so I talked to him the first time. I talked to him when I introduced you, and then I took William to him, and then when he signed the football. So I got.
Oh yeah, we met him a couple times before and after. I mean, he was very accessible more accessible than I thought he would be during that kind of event. But
Well,
like I
it's
said,
because it was so we didn't realize how exclusive
Yeah.
to press it was. Like, I mean, we talked about as we got in there, we were like, how did we get in here?
that's what I'm saying.
Because everybody there, like ET, Entertainment Tonight was there. There was that's why it was so accessible. It was like they automatically just trusted whoever was there was,
I was waiting to get thrown out at any moment. I was waiting for the bouncers to come get all 3 of us and be like, "I'm sorry, there's been a mistake. You're gonna have to leave," but it never happened. So
Well, they almost didn't let me in, William. I didn't tell
You
you
guys
that.
have been pestering one of the directors here. We're gonna have to ask you to leave.
Right.
yeah, I mean, but no, it never happened. No, I mean, like I said, they had like prime rib, hors d'oeuvres, all kinds of shit that I don't, or stuff. I'm sorry, stuff that I don't eat on a regular. I wanted like 4 or 5 of those things to make up for one full sandwich.
Man, those
and they
I'm
had
gone for a year, and William feels like he can't say shit on my show.
I forgot it. I forgot the rules, man. It's been a while. But no, that was a fun night.
What
That
rules?
was a fun. Well, we're not on late at night too. We're not on late night.
Debacle. After the penis debacle. I don't care anymore. Like
Oh, okay.
when somebody got mad that we said the word penis on the air, I was just like,
Well, that was a troll anyway. So
no, that was not a troll.
That wasn't a troll.
No, that was that last church that I worked at.
Oh, that's right. You said they got fired.
Some little old gray hair at 4 a.m. was watching and heard somebody on the panel say the word penis. I still to this day have no idea what the context was, and I looked at everybody and said, well, given what it is, it could have been a lot worse.
Yeah, the butt plug chair. I mean,
like, what are we talking about here? Like, I have no idea what we're talking about. And so it was stupid, but
Then there was the infamous
good
other
riddance. It allowed me to be available and open to take over the church that I'm at now. So there you go. But
Then there was the other infamous stream with you and I that got you in trouble.
Oh yeah, no, I did one. Remember we did when Jonathan Kent came out as bisexual.
Oh yeah.
And we did the show where I had Austin on and I had Saggy on, and we had a panel and stuff, and we were just talking about we were talking about that story. You know what I mean? Because that was the big story that was going on at the time, and then some person came up to me after that and was like, because we were discussing it because it was, a big deal. It was, they were making a character bisexual. And the question was, do you really think that they're doing this just because they want to have some representation and that they're doing it in the right way? Or are they doing it just to meet a quota, or just to try to, buy some fans over, win some fans over? And it was really cool. I thought we had a great discussion that night because
I remember that.
was on, Saggy was on, and they both shared their thoughts. They had differing opinions, and it was great. But then I got yelled at because I didn't supposedly preach at them that they were in the wrong and instead I'm like, first of all, the channel is not
a church channel.
We're not. It's not a church channel. Yes, I do my service on Sunday because people have asked me to, and because it was something that represents me, right? And what I do, and people enjoy it, and people have come along. And I've always told people, look, you don't have to watch on Sunday when I do that, when I broadcast my church service, but it's something about me, and that's it. But this idea that I did something wrong because I didn't chastise a bunch of people. I said, first of all, that's not my role anyways. Like, I'm not looking to chastise people for their life. Like that's not that. It just was stupid. It was really dumb. And they tried to give me a hard time about that too. And I just said, no,
I said that was a good discussion, and no, it did not need to be interrupted or derailed by me trying to preach to people what you think I should tell them.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, so I'm very comfortable in just being chill and relaxed. And the way I look at it, I've said, and this is, and then I'll get away from this, but it's like I've told people, anybody who wants to have a problem with all that stuff and try to tell me that I could not, like they literally tried to tell me that I could not be on the platform anymore because somebody said penis on my channel and I allowed it. Okay. And I was like, whatever. Okay, whatever. And I was just done. I didn't argue the point. I didn't try to keep the job. I didn't do any of that stuff. So everybody's like, Enosh lost his job and he couldn't find. No, that's bull, because I didn't argue about it. I literally just told them, okay, I mean, if that's really your point of view, I'm not changing my point of view.
Right.
Well, like, why should I change my point of view? I don't feel that I'm in the wrong. And second of all, look at the Apostle Peter in the Bible. Peter was like Jesus's right-hand guy, right? I mean, Peter was right there next to Jesus the entire time. And when Jesus was dying, Peter denied he even knew Jesus, like got pissed off at people and it says he was swearing at them. Basically, it was the equivalent of telling like this lady, F off, I don't know the guy, leave me alone, I'm not a part of this thing. And just, it says that he swore at her and went off on her and just became belligerent and screaming. And then we get the story of, the rooster, or if you read the King James version, the cock crowed 3 times. And and so then, Peter realized he had denied Christ, right? But then 50 days later, he stands up on the day of Pentecost and he's preaching to 3,000 people, and the church starts. Okay, so you're going to tell me God can use Peter, who was literally belligerent, yelling at people, cutting people's ears off in the Garden of Gethsemane when they came to get Jesus, and like attacking people and yelling and screaming at people and swearing at people, but I can't because somebody else said penis on a YouTube channel that I have.
That wasn't even the worst thing that happened in that era. I mean, the butt plug video was the one that always, or the beads. I mean, you could have tuned in at any given time and had an issue.
Well, and the thing was, it's not like I was like hiding.
Yeah, you're on YouTube.
Yeah, we're broadcasting to the entire world, for goodness sake. So, hey, real quick, Punk Black, what's going on? Punk Black with a $5 super chat says, "Hey, Enosh." That's great. Hey, Enosh, panel and chat. I watched the first episode of X-Men 97, and it was really good.
Right.
Good stuff.
Yeah, everyone's talking about it. Even LeBron James went on Twitter and was like, where can I watch this show? I want to watch it. I love the original. I thought that was fun.
I'm bringing somebody on tonight to talk about it when we go on because I'm not watching it. So, but I do want to cover it. So there we go.
You should watch it, William. It's going to be important for the MCU. That's Feige's vision for the X-Men.
Back on topic. We talked about Beetlejuice. Another trailer dropped, and that is Alien Romulus.
Oh, I'm gonna go down on this.
I'm so sorry, guys. That trailer did things to me this morning.
Especially the face hugger, when the face hugger probe. I'm like, wow, that's gonna.
Speaking of practical effects, Stan Winston's company we're in charge of making practical effects like Aliens were. So there's very minimal VFX in the film.
The original team who did Alien came back. James Cameron's Aliens came back. They were in their 20s when they did Aliens.
Yeah,
they now have their own studios. They all came back to work together and do the effects for this movie. So I'm an Alien fan. I'm hyped.
Yeah, it looked really good.
It's got the approval of James Cameron and Ridley Scott.
Well, Ridley's approval doesn't mean anything to me. So
Ridley's approval doesn't mean much to me, but
James Cameron don't mean anything to me either.
Cameron means a lot to me.
Cameron said that Terminator Genesis was good.
Yeah.
He said he came out. He's a producer. He's paid. Of course, he wants to make some money.
It came out the week it was released and said it was shit.
It's shit. Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, And he said too, it's gonna connect to all. God, why?
You mean Gad?
Why?
Dad!
Um,
Oh, God!
anyways, he said it's going to connect to all the film. Prometheus, Alien Covenant, Alien 1, Alien 2 takes place between 1 and 2. Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
what I had to ask. Is I thought I heard they were saying that Prometheus and Covenant aren't canon anymore.
No, they're canon.
That's
No, they're
that's
canon.
all.
They
They are.
this movie, they're just like the timeline is it's
You-
going to be set between Alien 1 and 2. So
Your
it's like,
biggest hint was the name.
And I would not be
Because-
surprised if we see more black goo in the movie.
But how does this tie into Alien Isolation?
I don't know if it will.
I don't know if Ridley Scott's considering the games.
This is what he said. He said there's going to be. So if you haven't seen an Aliens movie, he said it's going to be. He says I envy you because it's going to be an experience, right? He says if you have, it's also going to be an experience because there's a lot of Easter eggs, a lot of references. You're going to understand, and be like, oh, I know what they're talking, or context of what these people are talking about, or blah blah blah. So like, I think it's just going to be a simple little thing. Like I think they had a save station from the game in the space station or whatever. And so I think it's going to be like little things like that. I don't think it's going to have like an actual connection to the game in that sense. I just think it's going to be like little Easter eggs that we've all seen from the
Alien Isolation was used for a lot of references for this movie.
That's the thing is, from what I understand is, I don't know. It's like the timeline for all the movies are kind of weird because I feel like Prometheus and Alien Covenant, they feel like they're their own universe. They're not connected to the other Alien films besides the first one because it's a Ridley Scott's idea.
Well, if you look at the story of especially Prometheus, it is literally why you have any Alien films.
Right.
So you would have to figure he generally doesn't put things out there that he doesn't come back to. And if you look at the way Alien and both Covenant, Prometheus more than Covenant, I have no doubt that as long as he's remains alive, he's in his 80s, that he will connect. He will connect Prometheus, and it'll be it might even be more in this movie. But I don't think he laid those foundations for nothing.
But I don't think those movies kind of retcon the whole Alien Queen is not canon, though.
No, they didn't. No, they didn't.
Yeah,
nothing was retconned. Nothing was but what created the queen? You have to understand there was a derivative species that all that came from. That's like the missing link that we're missing. That story hasn't been told yet. Why do the aliens look like they do? So
but then explain why in the Alien director's cut you see the people turn into the xenomorph eggs.
That's first of all, it's a Ridley Scott director's cut, so kind of dismiss that for what it is. One of my favorite directors, but when it comes to his interpretation of what should be released, usually the producers and the other producers, do a good job of cutting out the things that don't need to be there. So just go with the actual movie that was released in theaters for the most part. And if you look at what Prometheus is, it is what would create the alien. So why do the alien queens look like that? Because if you notice, most of the xenomorphs predominantly look, from the species that they are from. So you'd have to have that missing link, and I think Prometheus started that. Covenant kind of went there a little bit with David, but there's nothing that was decanonized by Prometheus, though.
And I love all those movies. I know that there's people who just hate them, but
I love Prometheus. I love the look of it. I love the feel of it. I love the horror of it, the grossness of it. It's just like, it's a deeper movie. Yeah. If you have a fixed vision on what an alien movie should look to, those are the people that I found that didn't have as good a time with it. But if you're looking in the broad sense of what he always wanted to do from the conception of the movie, when he sat down with Geiger and all these people you get a broader sense of it, then it's as good a movie as it actually, he meant it to be.
So is this new movie going to have a xenomorph queen in it?
No. I don't know. I haven't seen the movie.
I don't think so.
Just because you see so many face huggers, it makes you wonder. It's like, where did all they come from then?
They can get transported though. Remember those LV-42, yeah. Because remember, those ships are out. And what Prometheus was establishing was that there was a war between the engineers, and he alluded. He never actually put it in the movie, but he alluded that they were monitoring mankind during the biblical days, and that what happened is once they saw how they behaved, one faction of the engineers wanted to wipe them out, and that's what they were doing is they were sending out those ships to genetically reverse everything that they had started. But the other half, which is the one that you saw at the beginning of Prometheus, he's basically sacrificed himself to counter that contagion, at least on Earth or the planet he was on. But if you look at some point, and that's probably what you would have seen or will see in a future movie, is those ships, those similar ships with the space jockeys on them, they crash on different planets, which means the faction that wanted to preserve the experiment won out and short-circuited those ships, and they crashed with those eggs. So throughout the entire galaxy, there's different species that they've experimented on, and they figured, oh, this is screwed up. We got to get rid of this. And then, like I said, half of them wanted that, the other half didn't, and that's why those spaceships crashed. And you have those eggs. Those eggs were meant to be delivery devices to each species that they experimented on, and to wipe out their own experiment. Kind
But
of like
that's
what
what
you
I'm
Celestials
wondering.
do.
It's didn't David create those eggs? How could those eggs already
Well,
been
yeah,
created if you think?
Yes, he created them.
David kind of show up in the middle of all that, figure that out, and
Yeah.
then move along and kind of finish the process, finish the job, right? Take it like that scene from Covenant where he takes and drops all the eggs on the engineer people, right?
No, those bombs. Like,
Well,
I don't know
no,
exactly what it was. I forgot exactly what it was.
he drops them on and the people start turning into xenomorphs.
Yeah, but at some point they get to they encounter a species that looks that is a hive species, because if you look at from Prometheus, that one that came out of him, it just came right out of him, from that original facehugger, and then that was the way but there was no egg needed. So sometime between Prometheus and the first Alien movie, they encounter a species that breeds by eggs, and that looks like that. Because that alien that came out of him looked like that engineer, or for more like the engineer than he did anything else. So
Right.
I'm assuming that they encounter a species that, if you were to look at that species, it doesn't look as horrific as the aliens does, but
Either
it has
that-
similarities.
I can see that, or knowing Scott and his whole like actual beliefs. He believes in evolution and is a big guy on evolution and that type of thing. And he was very much going for like the evolution of the xenomorph, that they look a certain way or start a certain way and then evolve into
Yeah,
looking.
because they're completely adaptable. It was designed so that any species that they encountered, that virus or whatever you want to the goo encountered, had a reversal effect on what they were supposed to do, but they were never able to implement it. That's why it has random effects. That goo and all the stuff that they've done has random effects from that point on, because there was no engineer to monitor it. They all got wiped out during the crash. They short-circuited their ships, and anything that was on that ships took them over. But that wasn't the plan. They were going to go to each one of these planets and basically, like I said, give the thumbs up, a thumbs down, because that's what they were on their way to do. And somebody, like I said, there was a civil war. Half the engineers wanted it, the other half didn't. The engineers that wanted the experimentation to continue kind of won, even though it had disastrous effects. But that's pretty much what Prometheus establishes. So I hope this tells a little bit more of that story, because like I said, I really love Prometheus. It grossed me out, but it was a really good movie.
Sure. Couple of things here real quick from the chat. First of all, Triton, I would say, man, that's a hard one, because I really like the Predator for like his. I like the Predator for what the Predator is, and I love the Xenomorphs for what the Xenomorphs are. The Xenomorphs I look more like as an animal, as a beast, as a creature, and we were talking about that yesterday. That I would really like to know, like, obviously they have that hive mind. They work in those packs and everything like that. But do they truly are they conscious? Do they have are they sentient? Or do they know and understand what they're doing? Or is it just all instinct? Is it just all killing on instinct, or eating on instinct, or creating new little baby aliens? on instinct instead of anything else. And apparently nobody likes Alien because we literally lost 25 viewers talking about Alien. But that's okay because I love Alien.
Yeah, I love it. Yeah.
And I will talk about the boring stuff right along with it. So, but the Predator stuff I think is better for what the Predator is, a predator, right? But I don't look at the Predator so much as a creature because it understands, it plots, it has, it's
It's a culture. It's a culture-based society.
right.
That's fast
So,
and everything.
it's totally different than the Xenomorph for me. Like I don't compare the two. I know that there's been Alien versus Predator, but I mean that's the same thing as like Predator versus people, right? Because it's just something for the Predator to go after. It's not that they have something in common other than they're alien to Earth.
Yeah.
So
I think it's the aliens that they have a purpose. Their purpose is to kill whatever species is there and to wipe it out by either taking it over or creating other beings to wipe out that disease, to basically breed it out to the point where there's whatever was there before has been wiped out. So I don't think they have any. I think the Queen to a certain extent has an intelligence, but I think they're more of a function. They're more of a machine. They have a purpose. That purpose is, like I said, to absorb, wipe out, and consume everything that's there. And I think that's because that's what the engineers wanted them to do. They wanted no
in
chance left
Alien
of it.
4, in Alien was it
Resurrection?
Oh, yeah,
Oh my God, that's.
I know, but hold on. In Alien 4, like that alien. Now that alien was highly deformed and messed up because of the human thing, DNA or whatever. But that alien seemed to have some kind of sentience, like because it knew who its mother was,
Yeah.
That kind of thing. So, we don't see that with any of the other.
Well, because its mother wasn't designed, wasn't operating by design. It was a human, whereas the alien queen is operating by design of creation. The purpose of the alien queen was to breed, was to carry out the function of those who sent her, which was to wipe out whatever species, consume, wipe out, transform, completely eliminate every species that they came across with. So Alien 4. Once you were done with Aliens, it was pretty much over. Alien 3 with the dog alien, the cardboard dog alien, that was bad. Alien
Well,
4,
that
and then
depends on the assembly cut. It was a cow, I think, that came out. But I prefer that version anyway.
yeah, I prefer that the cut was at the beginning credits because that's where that movie fails. But you look at Aliens versus Predator, and then I know it was a big thing back in the '90s because Dark Horse came out with that and they cultivated that. The movie was nothing like that, and then Requiem was garbage for me. So yeah, it's cool to see this trailer come out and come home to what he was trying to bring the franchise back to. In my opinion, with Prometheus. Predator's the same way. I mean, I enjoyed every Predator movie, solo Predator movie, except for the 2018 one. That was embarrassingly bad, and that's why Prey didn't get a theatrical release, was because they were so afraid of the disaster that was that previous film, and they just put that on Hulu.
You thought the Shane Black one was that bad?
It's one of the worst science fiction movies I've ever seen. I've been around.
I actually wasn't really a big fan of Prey, to be honest.
One of the worst science fiction movies you've
I
ever
like the
seen.
first three, but
Yes.
I didn't care about the other one.
What was the worst science fiction you've seen, William? Sorry.
One of the worst science fiction. It was Predator, the Predator in 2018.
Predator, Shane Black.
Oh, I don't love the movie, but in recent years I grew to appreciate it in the sense of it's just a stupid Shane Black 80s homage, But there's definitely problems, yeah.
I thought it was total nonstop dog shit, and the only reason I stayed is because we brought so many people with us. I couldn't leave those people there, so that's the only reason I kept being that.
I'm actually upset they never did a sequel to Predators.
Yeah, that would have been a great sequel.
Yes, you do suck. Alien lore is confusing. But yes, question for Enosh. So what is his name? It's hard for me to read. That's the only reason I have not said your name, and I'll be honest with you. Hold on a second. I'll give William his moment.
Oh, whatever it is.
Let's see what it says, because it's so tiny on my phone. Question for Enosh: Are we going to see 2 Cents on Nonsense back? I always thought that you and Johnny Pop made for an entertaining duo. So here's what I would tell you about the future of 2 Cents on Nonsense. I would. It's all going down. No, I.
He said you can call him Stefan.
I
Enoch.
love that show. I love that show. I love doing that show, and I would love to continue doing that show. I do have plans, one way or another, to bring back 2 Cents on Nonsense. Okay, so it will come back. The question is who's going to be my co-host? Johnny is very busy. Johnny and I are trying to get together actually and have a conversation about it and see what it looks like. But you know what the best thing you can do? Find Johnny on X, on Twitter. Johnny Pop. Find him. It's really easy. Find him, and you know what? Gush over him. Tell him how much he has missed. Tell him how much you loved 2 Cents on Nonsense and that you want to see more. It can only help. So yeah, I love the show. I know, you know what? It's so funny, you guys. I get asked more about 2 Cents on Nonsense than probably anything. Just call me Stefan. Okay. Or Stefan. Yeah, I just yeah, okay. So then yeah, just find Johnny. Just find Johnny. It's really easy to find Johnny. Just Johnny Pop, and yeah. So but yeah, I love doing the show. I get asked more about that show.
Hey, I'm gonna go ahead and head out, man. I'll talk to you later.
All right, bud.
All right.
See you later, man.
Have a good one, man.
Yeah, I get asked about 2 Cents on Nonsense constantly. So a couple more stories here, and then I got to get going. But let's do the easy one first. There is more Neverending Story coming. Why? Because it's a never-ending story.
I've never seen the Neverending Story, so
I have never seen it either.
What is so never-ending about it? But maybe it should end. Nothing.
The song.
Listen, listen. If you've never seen the Neverending Story, a couple of things. First of all, only see the first one. I don't care that Jack Black was in the third one as a kid. Do not see the second one. Just the first one. And then look forward to whatever they're going to bring us in this new Neverending Story world, because they said they've got several movies planned and stuff. And also realize and understand that when you watch the Neverending Story, it's a true 1984 movie. Okay, like the effects and everything are all very 84, but there's some really cool stuff in that movie, guys. Like that movie is just great. It's amazing.
I've heard how much it scarred my mother.
You guys know what the basic storyline is for it?
No, I don't know much. All I know is that the horse scene scarred my mother when she was a child, and I've heard lots of things about it.
I know that it's a story and that it never ends.
Yeah, so
and there's a giant dragon dog.
Jack Black plays a bully in part 3, but it's horrible. It's just horrible. But the Neverending Story is about this kid named Bastion, right? And he's given a book with this amulet on the cover of it. That's these snakes that are kind of, together. And he starts reading this book. Well, this book tells this story about these creatures in this fantastical place. And yes, the nothing. So there is this, you were rooting for the nothing? That's awesome. So there's the land of Fantasia, right? And it's this beautiful mystic land, very, very much so like reminiscent of like, Third Earth or whatever, and like Lord of the Rings kind of thing, or whatever. It's very reminiscent of that, right? This big spectacle world where all these there's these big giant rock creatures, and there's little dude who rides a snail, and there's all this stuff going on. But there is this thing called the nothing. And what it is that it's eliminating all of Fantasia. It just overtakes it, and it's just done. Like everything just ceases to exist everywhere it goes, and it's destroying all of Fantasia. And what it is that Bastion realizes as he's reading the book that the book is happening in real time as he reads it.
Oh, that's
So
cool.
he's reading about the adventures that these people are having in Fantasia, but he realizes that he's reading about its destruction.
Yeah.
And so they end up there's the princess who calls for a warrior whose name is Atreyu. And Atreyu comes with his horse, Artax, and they go off on an adventure to stop the Nothing, right? And he's not quite sure how he's going to do that, but he has to go off to this far place and speak to these oracles, and it's really amazing. The whole Empress, that's right, the Empress, the childlike Empress. Thank you, Elsa. Yes, that's right, the childlike Empress. So then what happens is, and I mean this is a 40-something-year-old movie, right? So when he goes out to fight, he discovers this creature that is this wolf. And the wolf, we just know, is the servant of the Nothing. This wolf kind of goes out before and prepares the way for the Nothing, kind of like the Silver Surfer. It's very actually, now that I think about it, it's very similar to Galactus and Silver Surfer, like a lot. So so they go after these things, and they're trying to stop these things. Atreyu tries to do that. Atreyu has to go and find this certain creature that looks like a giant tortoise. Well, it is a giant tortoise, but
Hey, I gotta step out.
The horse unfortunately is not surviving, and it scarred everybody, but it's a great movie, and it was so then the thing is Bastion realizes that the book is happening, and then the childlike Empress, like, everything is destroying, right? Everything is being destroyed. The whole universe is collapsing in Fantasia, and she screams out to Bastion because what they have to do is he has to name her. He has to give her a new name. That is how Fantasia can survive and be rebirthed, because a new story will be told, a new chapter will be told. And the reason why the Nothing is taking over is because people aren't reading their adventures anymore. People aren't investing. And so it's very, very cool. It's got some great
like themes and that's really cool. I do like that stuff. Yeah.
And basically, and then there's Falcor. Yes, I can't forget Falcor. Falcor is just amazing. He's the luck dragon, and so
all I'll say is this: if they don't bring back Jack Black, I'm going to be very disappointed.
There's the picture in the lower left-hand corner from the movie. That's Bastion riding Falcor at the end, because it comes down to the idea that Bastion ends up with one grain of sand left from Fantasia. And the childlike Empress tells him he has to make wishes and keep wishing and keep wishing and keep wishing, and that will rebuild Fantasia. And so basically they use half of the actual book, because it was a book. They used half of the book to make the first one, and they used parts of the book to make the second one, but the second one sucks. It's horrible. It is the biggest freaking disappointment ever. And only to be followed by part 3, which I don't care if Jack Black is in it. It's
what?
Awful. It's
what
awful.
are you talking about? The third one's the best one. You had the rock monster singing songs and dancing, and they used the puppets like it was like dinosaurs. Remember that? And like they had little baby rock monster. The third one's the best one, man.
But I couldn't.
And then cut to chick, come on, ride with me.
They look
on the highway.
And rock biters.
Yeah, and then the third movie he's singing,
because the rock biter, the Nothing literally pulls all of his friends right out of his hands, and he's like a giant rock monster, and he couldn't hold on to him, so all of his friends are dead. And he's just like,
but then he has a family.
Hands trying to explain it, and he's just like, they look like big, strong, and he just like, they look like big, strong, and he just like, they look like big, strong, and he just like, they look like big, strong, and he just like, they look like big, strong, and he just like, they look like big, strong, and he just like, they look like big, strong, and he just like, they look like big, strong, and he just like, they look like big, strong, and he just like, they look like big, strong, and he just like, they look like big, strong, and he just like, they look like big, strong, and he just like, they look like big, strong, and he just like, they look like big, strong, and he just like, they look like big, strong, and he just like, they look like big, strong, and he just like, they look like big, strong, and he just like, they look like big, strong, and he just like, they look like big, strong, and he just like, they look like big, strong, and he just like, they look like big, strong, and he just like, they look like big, strong, and he just like, they look like big, strong, and he just like, they look like big, strong, and he just like, they look like big, strong, and he just like, they look like big, hands, but he couldn't hold on to him. So.
But then he sings a song and he has like a wife and a kid and a baby rock monster. He sings Dog Wild.
That movie does not exist.
You didn't like Falcor going to the real world and being the Chinese dragon and the practical effects looking worse than the original movie somehow?
Well, yeah, okay. So, yeah, okay. You know what, Elsa, you bring up a good point here. And I'm sorry, I'll come back to you. So, yeah, so the way that he saves Fantasia is he gives the childlike empress a new name, right? And then from there, he gets this grain of sand. She gives him this grain of sand, and that's how he rebuilt it, you know? So, but he saves the world by giving her a new name. And you know what, Elsa? For the life of me, it was not until the modern age when we had like Google to be able to look it up that you can even understand what her name is. He ends up naming her Moonchild. And I guess it's his mom's name. But he names her Moonchild, and yeah, but in the movie, he runs up to this window and there's this storm and everything, and he throws open the window and he just screams out into the storm, apparently, Moonchild! But like, and it's funny because he has an argument with the book because he's reading it, and it's only the childlike empress, and it keeps cutting between the scene of her staring at the camera and him and her and him and her, and it's like she's in the book and he's in real life, and she's like, call my name, say my name, Bastion, like save us please, and he's like, okay, but I don't know if I can do it. Like I'm nothing. And she's just like, you've had the power all along. And he's like, you realize he's having an argument and like a back and forth with the book, basically, because he's reading it as it's being told to him that, yeah. And then, a great parody of it is on Robot Chicken, because in there he's like, oh my gosh, the boy in the book is taking a giant crap. And then it shows that he's on the toilet. And he's like, I'm taking a giant crap. So, yeah,
Yeah, I'll have to check
it's a
that
great
out.
movie though. So I am you never understood it either. Thank you, so that I'm not alone, because like I thought that there was just something wrong with me for the longest time. Like, why can't I hear what her name is? Is it just supposed to be a mystery that we're never supposed to know? Because I saw the movie when I was 8, and but yeah, guys, if you get a chance, watch the Neverending Story. I've got it right now. It's literally on my it's sitting underneath my TV in my living room. Never.
Oh wow.
It's a great movie. Go watch it. But like I said, don't bother with the other ones. Jay.
I'll say the only thing that really worries me about these like big 80s remakes they're doing, because they're remaking Labyrinth too, which I'm like, I have no interest in that.
What?
Yeah, they're redoing Labyrinth.
Labyrinth, yeah.
So like, my concern is like, I imagine this goes for Neverending Story as well, but the practical effects and the puppetry is what makes those movies so special.
Right.
What makes them shine so much. So like, are they going to fill it in with a bunch of CG? Are they going to fill in do puppets again? What are they going to do with these remakes?
Yeah, Greta Gerwig's also doing. She's going to be doing Narnia for Netflix.
Yeah. Wait, no, for Netflix?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's going to be a high budget Narnia movie for Netflix. Yeah, they're going to be doing the Narnia series.
Oh, that makes me worried.
I have faith. I think she'll do well. I think it'll be fun.
It's Netflix though, so
I
have no faith in their films.
They make good movies. They just are, don't.
I have a concern about this too, because yeah, I mean, there's all these 80s movies, there's all these old movies that are being remade. I mean, Austin and I were talking 2 weeks ago. Man, we've been back for a couple of weeks, Austin. Like this.
Wow!
Is
yeah,
we
what's
back,
up,
bro? We were talking ago about like biblical movies, right? And like when they like remade like Ben-Hur and stuff, right? That's like. There's just some things, man. Like I don't want to see them remake. I don't want to see a new version of. There's just some things that were good and they stand the test of time because of where they are. They don't need to be remade for the modern age.
Yeah.
Because it was a snapshot in time.
Sure.
And you can and almost never. I mean, I can you think of any movie that has been a reboot or a modern telling of an old movie that like of a movie that like did really well and like was beloved that all of a sudden just like caught fire with the new one?
I mean, they're few and far between. Halloween. Halloween did get a big revamp. Okay, right, with the 2018.
We saw how that went.
Yeah, we saw how that ended. But for the time being, yeah, that was, and there was a lot of hype for that
I
franchise.
remember in like the 2010s they remade Total Recall and RoboCop, and those were
And they're completely forgotten about. They did some terrible book speaking of a book adaptation that made me mad, they did The Giver, and that was just awful.
Yeah, that was shit.
Oh yeah, The Giver. Yeah, that wasn't
trash. And they did it with the perfect person too. Like they cast the right person for The Giver, and they wasted it.
Yeah.
Okay, well, 3:10 to Yuma though is like one of those few and far between where like, and that was also early 2000s. There are few and far between, right? Where like,
well, one of the greatest remakes in my opinion. Like everyone says The Thing because they remade a 50s movie, but like the remake of True Grit is probably the greatest remake maybe ever because it's so much better than the original movie. It's not even a fair comparison.
I think it's pretty good. I'm not the biggest fan of the True Grit remake. Oh yeah, Walking Tall. Yeah, Walking Tall. That's right.
But like,
what's the other one with Adam Sandler that he redid the Longest Yard?
Yeah.
Longest Yard.
That's a good movie. Yeah.
But like even those like I don't consider those like they were hits, right? But it's not like they redefined anything, right? It's not like even like with Walking Tall, like everybody was just a buzz with like it's so much better than the original, or like it was kind of its own movie. You know what I mean? It was just, and that's good. That's good. Yeah. But like when you're talking about like these classics, right? These, it'd be like if they announced like we're gonna redo The Godfather.
It'll happen. It'll happen eventually.
I believe
my biggest fear.
Departed is a remake too.
Yeah, my biggest fear in life is if they remake my favorite movie trilogy. Actually, no, not even trilogy. It's my favorite movie of all time. Period. I am terrified of the notion that one day they are going to either make a remake or a sequel to Back to the Future.
Oh, it's going to happen. It's going to happen.
They can't. I don't think they
will.
No,
I know they can't right now, but I'm saying
it's going to happen
like when Robert Zemeckis and Bob Gale pass away, unless they got something in their wills.
Well, according to Zemeckis, he has taken legal action so that they can never do it. His estate would have to approve it, and he said it was an interview for a few years ago. We actually did a story about it one night. That Zemeckis talked about it. That he said. No, he said, I will never approve of that. I will never put my stamp of approval on it. I will never allow it. And my estate will not either. So that's a good thing because God knows we don't need that.
Yeah.
The only things you're going to get like that are
because I don't know. Like, I know that's what they say, but like,
well, I think there would be so much backlash, though. Don't you think that there would be like so much backlash?
There would.
No, there would be. But I mean, remember when they announced they were going to remake The Princess Bride, and the entire cast said, "Do not do this. What are you doing?"
Right.
Yeah.
Like you cannot remake a perfect movie.
No,
just don't even do it.
Bride, you know what? The Princess Bride is a great example, a comparison, actually, with the Neverending Story. It's a fairy tale kind of movie and everything set in the in the mid 80s, and stuff, but set in a different time and place, obviously, but during that time and stuff. And so I think the closest we'll ever get to probably a Back to the Future 4, it won't be that, but would probably be a live action Rick and Morty movie. Would be the
please God no.
Kill me now, please.
I don't know. I think depending upon who did it. I'm not saying
it's going to be Zack Snyder.
Well, first of all, I'm going to say this.
Hold on. I'm really not being facetious. I mean, I love Rick and Morty.
See, I'm putting this out there. I don't like Rick and Morty, so I'm not interested.
Yeah, that's fine. If you don't like Rick and Morty, you don't like Rick and Morty, right? But like, if you like Rick and Morty, you remember a couple years ago where actually, I you know what? I might have the picture actually. if I can remember how to go between brands. Yeah, here we go. Let's see, because I had a picture for the longest time of yeah, here it is right here.
Yeah, yeah, they did.
Remember the
Right,
promo
yeah.
Rick and Morty where they actually got
Yeah.
Christopher Lloyd and what's his name from Stranger Things. And I mean, this was on the show. You know, they literally, well, they did promos for the show. You know, coming back that year, and so look, just thank God that this didn't happen.
Well, no, they're making a Barney movie though.
Yeah, I know. Hopefully, it doesn't look like that. That's
Yeah.
why I have this in there, RJ's, from when we did that story.
Oh yeah.
They're also making Doomcock babies. That's
God.
Well, speaking of Doomcock babies, did you see the aftermath of the Acolyte trailer release? That it's like one of the most disliked trailers on YouTube ever.
Yeah,
Yeah, like the dislikes surpassed the likes on that video.
because
What you just said is one of the most insanely idiotic things I have ever heard.
That was a news story today. Like that, people were covering is that the trailer dislikes, the Acolyte trailer, are like some of the highest seen in a while.
For
that
what?
is utterly
Add in that
ridiculous.
trailer.
Thank you.
I don't know if it's
nothing in
because
that trailer. I'm sorry. You know what? Before I go on this rant, I want to say something positive for Elsa, because I don't know what Elsa's thoughts on it. I know Elsa and I have some differing views on Star Wars, but we love each other. So before I go into a rant, she's still talking about the Neverending Story. She goes, this is a great point of that story. She goes, the question is, Bastion spends the whole day in the school attic because he gets the book and he goes into the attic, and nobody misses him. Not even his dad. Nobody questions where he's at.
Gotta love it.
Gotta love it.
Yeah, so right now it's the Acolyte trailer currently has more dislikes than likes on YouTube with over 160,000 dislikes.
So stupid.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
So but here's the thing, I don't know if it's because of the quality of the trailer or they hate the person who's show running it and writing it.
What about the quality of the trailer? No, it's about the fact that there's a bunch of women lead characters. I'm sorry, A, and B. Star Wars haters are fans.
Well,
are
people just really hate
I
Leslie
wouldn't say
Headland.
that.
No, I'm sorry. Star Wars fans are so annoying. They sit there and they complain and go, "Take me out of the Skywalker era. I don't want to see any more Skywalker stuff." Blah blah blah. Da, 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 da. So we do. We go 100 years in the back, and we decide to focus on Sith, which we've never focused on before. And now we're still complaining. We're still bitching and moaning. For what? Carry on Moss is a Jedi.
I mean, okay.
What more do you want? Like, cool action
okay
stuff,
though, like
a
cool.
bunch of Jedi at the height of their power, which we've never seen like this before. I mean, like, dude. My God, somebody else tweeted out there, and they were like, it was Robert Burnett. They were like, "There's no new locations, there's nothing new, blah blah blah." I'm like, yeah, because they're gonna give that away in the first, in a minute and 30-second teaser. All the new stuff that we're gonna see, like, it's a teaser. What are you bitching and moaning about? My God, Star Wars
teaser. It's a freaking teaser, and everything in that teaser looked cool. Now, does that mean that it's going to be good? No. But to sit there and gripe and complain about what we saw in the trailer, and to try to attach some kind of agenda to it, or to try to attach some kind of story to it, or to try to attach some kind of idea behind it or whatever, just because it's the Acolyte and just because it's got a female protagonist, shut up. I'm so sick of this nonsense. Look, there are absolutely times when you have this political correctness, or this there are times, man, when you got, like, I went off, and I've seriously gone off on the Supergirl show so many times because of that nonsense, because it comes down to man-hating sometimes on that show. She literally goes off on Clark, all the time when he was there. Anytime he visited Supergirl, she was going off on, telling him the world doesn't need him. Lois joins in. Like, it gets bad. But listen, that's not sitting under every rock. And just because there's a strong female character does not mean that that's the point. That's like what it's about. It's it doesn't have to be. Now, look, we could watch the show and it could be absolutely what it's all about.
Right.
But we don't know that. Nobody knows that because the show hasn't come out. And like Austin just said, this idea of like, oh, there's no new places in it. Oh, did you watch the series?
Right. Is it out yet? Did I miss something?
Yeah, did I miss the release date or something? Like you saw the whole thing and you know that there are no new places. So Austin, you know what we need to do? We need to find us a little we need to get whatever that is. We need to start making a checklist apparently of all
Right.
these little gripes and complaints and these things that they claim are going to happen and
Let's
then
do
do
it.
literally a 2 cents on nonsense show where we go, "Okay, Robert Meyer
Let's
Burnett said this." And look, I love
I'm bookmarking his tweet right now.
Don't get me wrong. I love Robert Meyer Burnett. I've had him on the show. I've had him here on the channel. I love Robert Meyer Burnett, but it doesn't mean I have to agree with Robert Meyer Burnett on everything. And he would say the same thing. There's no reason why he would feel like he has to agree with Enosh.
Right.
I feel like that is a silly thing to say.
I want to give him context just real quick.
Yeah.
I want to give him context and just say the whole tweet. It's not long. It says there's not one great new design in the Acolyte, not one location, character, or situation which makes you go, whoa.
Yeah, I can agree with that.
Well, he was saying that the first Andor trailer was more impressive because it actually showed new stuff and it felt something like fresh. I think that's what he was getting at.
Is a serial killer Jedi not fresh enough for you? I mean,
I'm sorry, but I have to push back on this. Just because you have Carrie-Anne Moss in it as a Jedi, just because you have Jedis fighting Sith and red lightsabers, blue lightsabers, green lightsabers, and all these flashy things, that doesn't mean anything. These are ideas put on paper that sound simplistic and are easy to execute.
Right.
Just because you have cool and flashy premises doesn't warrant anything. It doesn't warrant that people have to be interested in this. So just because that you are interested in it.
Is that the argument being made, Bradley? Or are we just saying, like, I'm not saying it's going to be good. I don't even think, I mean, Austin is obviously excited about, what's her name?
I'm hyped. I think it's going to be, I'm excited for it. Yeah.
I don't even care about that. Like, I mean, I don't even care about who's in it. I don't care about any of that stuff. All I care about is, like, you could be absolutely right, man. Like, I feel you, like 100%, right? That like those things don't mean it's going to be good. Look, just because they got yellow and orange lightsabers or pink lightsabers or whatever, it may look really cool. I may want to go out and buy a pink lightsaber, but it doesn't mean that the show is going to be good. I agree with you, Bradley. But it also doesn't mean that the show is going to be bad based on what we
No, I will say, like, people, like, I don't know what the exact consensus is, if this is a bunch of people from a certain corner of that like to call themselves gamers and nerds, but are really just haters and pieces of shit, to be honest. So we don't know really. I don't think it's fair to say that the majority of people hating this are those types of people who don't like women in these roles. I mean, I think it's pretty safe to say right now, because that's kind of a track record with Star Wars. You had Ahsoka, you had Rey. I mean, you can go on and on. Young Leia was even a big problem for a lot of people, even though I thought she was probably the best part of the show.
It definitely, I think the biggest problem was, and it was because her character was so poorly written, was the chick from Obi-Wan, but she didn't ruin the show for me. Like, I still enjoyed Obi-Wan,
Right.
but I know a lot of people made a big deal about her because.
But why is it though that all of a sudden we are keeping track of, apparently, and like monitoring how many female characters? Right.
It's weird. It's definitely weird.
So like every time a new female character is ever introduced, we like that side of the fans, they automatically go into it's woke. It's gonna be female empowerment. They literally use the term "the force is female," where like nobody has used that term officially, like ever.
Well, they wore T-shirts. They wore T-shirts.
Oh, they wore T-shirts, but it's not a thing in Star Wars, though. It was a thing that some girls who were in Star Wars, and Kathleen Kennedy, who is in charge of Star Wars, wore a T-shirt that said "the force is female." It doesn't matter to me. You know what matters to me? Is the actual shows and the movies. And here's the thing, we're not keeping track or tally of how many guys they introduced into the show.
Yeah.
Or how many males that they introduce into Star Wars lore. So why are we doing it with females going, well, we got too many female protagonists. We got Sabine now, we got Ahsoka, we got
And
Hera,
here's my question too:
Light.
one of the main leads of Star Wars in the original trilogy was, guess what? Hush, hush, everybody. This is going to be a shocker. A female. Dun, 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 dun.
Hey, I want to show you the coolest song intro I ever wrote. I'm going to start with one finger on the G string. You're going to grab the G string and slowly slide it down and pull off the G string, and then get your hand on your D right there. Now, while your hand is on the D, you want to start sliding your pinky into the A up here. Okay, after you've slid your pinky into the A a couple times, you get a nice open A like this. All right, now the song gets a little strange here. All of a sudden, there's 4 BBCs that show up. So we have BBC, BBC, BBC. On this last BBC, I'm going to bend, so that's going to be a big bent BBC. And that's all warm up to get to F.
And that's what George Lucas was thinking when he saw the female on set of the. But no, I mean, it's just ridiculous. Like, my God, why? What is the big deal? As long as the character is good, as long as the character. I mean, again, Ahsoka. I mean, Princess Leia. I mean, Padme. There's always been main central female characters.
Well,
now, so what? We're just, I don't know. I think it's so dumb.
Well, the problem is like these little like ridiculous, sexist and ridiculous nitpick arguments take away from people like me and people like a lot of other people who have genuine criticism,
right,
and who have genuine things to say about something that they may or may not like. And that's my problem, is a lot of people don't pay attention to that sort of thing. And so they see a bunch of negativity and say that, oh, everyone hates this, is this type of person. One person does something wrong or says something wrong, and it's everyone who doesn't like it is that sort of person. And that, takes that sort of approach. And I think that's wrong. And it does take away from actual conversations that can be constructive and actually, interesting to have.
100%, Bradley. 100%.
Yeah.
That's what bothers me about it, is because all the nonsense, all the complaining and stuff, it makes the general public feel that that's what's going on, that that's real or something. And then it taints everything. It just, it's so sad when people can't even just be happy, like, that there's a new Star Wars movie coming out, man. I remember being a kid and knowing, like, hearing that The Empire Strikes Back was coming out. I was excited. Hearing that Return of the Jedi was coming out, I was excited. When they finally announced the prequels, I was excited. When they announced the sequels, I was excited. It doesn't mean that I love them all exactly the same, or they're all the same quality, or they're all something that I would say, this is the thing to watch, man. Like, if you're going to watch one Star Wars movie, just make sure that you watch The Rise of Skywalker, like,
oh God.
Nobody's all like, like, oh yeah, episode 1 is the one to watch, like, but and having complaints about it is fine. And Bradley, you hit it right, like, because you have legitimate complaints, right? You have legitimate concerns. And the problem is with all the whiny people out there, and I'm not saying that they're whiny just because they have a differing opinion or because they're saying something that I don't agree with. I'm saying it because of how they act. Like, they don't come with discourse to actually just have a conversation and then move on. They come to just be louder than you, laugh at you. If you're talking to somebody online, all you're going to get is, laughing emojis and, and just insults and stuff. I mean, that's not discussion. That's not just having an opinion. That's now like mocking other people for just having a differing opinion. Like, today, I was in a Snyder group, and somebody posted that picture again of David Cornsweet in that.
Oh, this.
It was like, then we get this, right? And I'm like, that's fake, right? And so then, like, a lot of people were like, you know what? Yeah, they gave a like or whatever. They said, yeah, it's fake. Like, why are we talking about this still? And there always has to be a couple that come in with laughing emojis. And then, like, one person told me that I sound like I work for them because I said,
Because you tell the truth?
That's what I said. I said, wait a second. All I did was tell the truth, and which led to a completely other like ridiculous comment because I said, look, I told the truth. The truth is, it's a fake picture. It's been verified that it's a fake picture. So if you're waiting around for that to be true, you're gonna be waiting a long time because it's not. And the thing is that if it's not true, it totally negates the point that you're trying to make. Find something that actually makes the point that you don't like James Gunn because XYZ, not because of this picture, because that picture is fake and it doesn't make any sense. And I said, look, truth always trumps lies. Always. People are so like tunnel vision. Somebody saw that word, Trump. Next thing I know, I'm being told my comment is like being used to make some kind of political statement about how Trump is better than everybody. And I'm like, what just happened here? Like, it's literally a fake picture of Superman. People are using it to mock whatever is actually coming out. And then somehow, because I said that truth trumps lies, somebody's got to turn that now into some kind of political thing.
Oh, you said Trump. You're a Trump supporter now.
No, oh my God! People tried doing that a couple of years ago.
Yeah, that is funny.
Right, like I have always remained politically neutral, and I love the nights that we used to have where somebody would come into the chat and accuse me of being like some right-wing nut job, and then like literally sometime a little bit later, someone would accuse me of being some woke leftist, like 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 saying stuff that like I've never said, and stuff that like I support this cause and that cause, and I'm like, you guys, I love the fact that you all don't know anything about Enosh P in real life.
It's funny how people online think they know you better than you do.
Yeah, well, you know what? Here's all the whiny babies once reality hits.
I will say it's funny too. Like, I think it's funny that people use any sort of leverage they can get, whether it's a fake image, whether it's a Fortnite image of a concept, whether it's this or that. And yet they sit there and they complain about the same groups of people that they shit on and talk crap about. The same people that do that to Zack Snyder.
Yep.
They're doing the same exact thing that they sit and claim is, dishonest and toxic, but they're committing the same behavior. So I think it's pretty funny that they, not to insert a pun, but it has come full circle in that regard.
True that. All right, so the last, yeah, I know we haven't seen that drop in a while. I love that drop, that kid. Yeah, so I mean, we're your homework for the night. Go watch the Neverending Story. That being said, hold on a second. We got one last. I think we got one last thing here, and then I got to get going. Anyways, but the last story we have, Netflix Marvel is officially canon.
It's about goddamn time.
And
it's
RJ
time.
the one thing that like I really wanted to know what RJ thought of that. But maybe he'll come back. I don't know. You guys excited about that?
Yeah, I mean, it always was canon to me, to be honest. Like rewatching Daredevil, recently, I'm just like, this fits perfectly in line with the MCU. They had little references here and there. They actually had quite a few in the first season. If you go back and watch, it's very connected. So it was like Luke Cage and Jessica Jones. So I think it's pretty cool. I mean, I'll be honest, I really don't have any faith or interest in Born Again and what they're doing. But I don't know. I'm just glad that the 3 seasons that are peak Marvel are finally a part of the universe. Yeah.
Shayna says it's always been canon. Excellent news. She's trying to get me to watch Daredevil and all that stuff because I never watched any of the.
You haven't seen Daredevil?
I have not.
Oh my god, man, you love that show.
So I'm gonna be dead honest with you. One of the reasons why I didn't start watching it, and I know people are gonna probably give me crap about this, I loved the Ben Affleck.
Yeah, that's fine. I know it's a lot of people's guilty pleasure. Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah, I love the Ben Affleck movie. It's got a special place in my heart. And so when the new one came out, it was just never like a priority for me. It was just like, I'll get around to it. And then I realized I never got around to it. And then
And it got canceled.
there was Jessica Jones, and there was Nick Cage, and then there was, and it was like, oh crap, now I'm like multiple seasons behind and like actual shows behind, like this thing now, and then when they were like, well, it's not really canon, I was like, oh, hey, there's an excuse to never have to watch that. And now it's canon. So now I feel like, and now there's more stuff being produced with those characters. So dang it.
No, I think you would like the show a lot. I mean, the Netflix MCU is very. It's kind of rough. Like the first 3 seasons of Daredevil are great. Season 2 is when it hit its peak. Like season 2 is probably some of the best streaming television ever made and put together. It's fantastic. Really? It's a great season. It's him and Daredevil, or Daredevil and Punisher, the whole season, and they set up Punisher too. Punisher season 1 is good. Jessica Jones season 1 is good. Luke Cage season 1 is good. None of Iron Fist is good. So it's very it's all over the place in terms of what you like and prefer with the universe.
Did you like Moon Knight?
I did not like Moon Knight.
See, neither did I. And you know what? I got the vibes that I got from Moon Knight before I watched it. It reminded me of Iron Fist. Like just I don't know, like just like, you know what I mean? Just like the feel of the show. And so like I remember because I had tried to watch Iron Fist, and I didn't care for that either. And then I started watching Moon Knight, and Isaac really liked it. And there was somebody else in the house, I think, that had their takes were always bad anyways, so it doesn't really matter. And so I wasn't going to take their opinion of it. And so I just, but Isaac says that he really likes it, but I couldn't even finish it because I didn't connect with the character. I didn't connect with the thing. And then the whole thing just, it gave me vibes, and it just was like, ugh.
You didn't see the talking hippo?
No.
Oh, you missed out on some peak garbage. It's awful. It was awful.
Peak garbage.
It was peak trash.
It was fresh. It was like trash goes out on Thursday morning, so you got to put it out Wednesday night, right? So it's like what you're saying, Bradley, is that we're talking about the trash like right as it's coming out the door. Like
fresh and ready, hot and ready.
It was a fresh shit, it hadn't been sitting there in the toilet for a couple of days. It was just plopped out, right into the toilet. Wait, what? I said it was a fresh shit, it hadn't been sitting there for a few days. It just, right there.
Absolutely fresh. Fresh turds for everyone. Better a fresh turd than one that's been sitting around. That's all I got to say. Anyways, but yeah, I'm new watch party. Wednesday night trash. That would be fun to like watch bad movies.
Absolutely, we should watch Showgirls things.
Trash night. Call it trash night. Do watch party. That'd be great. Have you guys ever seen a movie called Super Fuzz?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Sounds familiar. Yeah.
Now I'm not talking about hot, or was it?
No, not the Simon Pegg one. Yeah, the Super Fuzz.
What's that?
Yeah, you're not the Simon Pegg one. Super Fuzz.
I have not seen this.
Super Fuzz was this 80s like low budget movie. I think it's got Ernest Borgnine in it. And it's this dude. It almost seems like a trauma thing almost, because he's exposed to some like radiation or whatever, and so he develops these superpowers that like he can do just all these random things almost anything that he can think of, except for when he sees the color red, his powers go away. So like there's a scene where these kids are at the beach and their beach ball goes out into the water and they can't get their beach ball. So he has the power to walk out on the water like Jesus, out the ball, picks up the beach ball, turns around and looks at the kids, and they're all like, "Yeah, that's awesome" and stuff. And then this like girl comes in a red bikini and walks up, and he sees the red bikini, and he loses his powers and falls into the water.
Oh my god!
That's the entire movie. Is just like him losing his powers, and that's right. Is that the guy's name? Terrence Hill?
Yeah, I looked it up and it said he
If
was.
anybody knows, it would be Jason. Yes. You just looked it up?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's something else.
You know, it'd be great too. I don't know if you've heard of a local legend out here in Las Vegas filmmaking, but his name is Neil Breen. We should watch a Neil Breen film. If you don't know what a Neil Breen film is, I wouldn't suggest. Well, I haven't seen one. I wouldn't suggest watching them. But Red Letter Media, they have a series where they watched all of his films, and they're some of the funniest, low budget indie pieces of crap you'll ever see. And this guy is just so pretentious. He is T.W. McKay knows Neil Breen. There we go. But yeah, he's an absolute madman. Like, he's literally psychotic.
Jason says, "No, you shouldn't." Wow, we've got debate. We got a debate in the chat between Jason and TW. We've got to watch one. No, you. We got to watch one. No, we
I don't
shouldn't.
think we'll survive. It's from what I've seen. My God, they're awful. They're quite awful.
Man, that's great. Well, yeah, like I said, it's cool that it's all canon now. I know a lot of people are really happy about that being finally canonized, and because it's just been sitting out there for so long. So I mean, what's next? What's next that they're going to say is canon now? Is Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. going to be canon again?
Yeah, I know a lot of fans would be happy with that.
Yep. So we shall see. We shall see. But I don't know. But if you guys are watching this video on the replay, let us know what you think down in the comments about everything that we talked about today. Thank you to everyone who's been in the chat. You guys are awesome. You're fire. I love all of you guys. You know what? I love to hate the Star Wars Holiday Special. And I've always said that watching the Star Wars Holiday Special is always best with friends. And probably if you have an alcoholic beverage of some kind.
I think I would need to do acid to watch that.
Or, just something to lift your spirits up,
Those Wookiee songs are pretty horrifying.
Oh, yeah.
Horrifying.
It's something else, but thank you, Bradley. It's just you and me here right now.
Yeah, Austin said his phone was heating up, so he had to give it a break.
Thanks to Austin, thanks to RJ, thanks to you, Bradley, thanks to Film Goblin, and who else was here? Somebody else was here.
RJ was here.
RJ was here. Yes, that's right.
William is here too.
Who was?
William.
Oh, that's right. William is. Well, we always forget about William.
The old man.
William probably already forgot that he was here. So there you go. But thank you, Bradley, and thank you to everyone. Remember, like I always say, don't let anybody tell you that your fandom doesn't matter or that your opinion doesn't matter. And don't tell anybody that their opinion doesn't matter. But seek to have good conversations and treat everybody with respect. And if you do that, well, there'll always be a place for you all here in the Poindexter Lounge. Until next time, and until I find the outro, stay there.
Peace.